3 worst characters at the current Overwatch 2 state for every role. Let's get started. Let's start off with supports, and I feel like every single player will agree that LifeWeaver is absolutely takes the #1 spot of being the worst character in the game at the moment, standing at 41% across all the ranks. This is the worst character that has ever been created by Blizzard. The fact that he cannot deal damage, he cannot protect himself from dive threats, the fact that he has a very big hitbox and almost zero mobility, the fact that you have to heal bot, you want to switch to damaging, you're gonna regret that in a second because your teammate is gonna be at risk of losing his life, as well as the fact that if you are trying to pull your teammate and there is a little ledge and you just cannot go over it, and I've had a few situations where my tank would just be in the middle of nowhere simply because there is a piece of thingy on the ground that interrupted my life creep, as well as the ultimate. It feels strong, it looks strong, but Sombra EMP is just absolutely countering it. It's pretty easy to kill it if you are focusing it with your team. It is pretty easy to outburst it simply because of low healing potential. LifeWeaver, God bless Blizzard for this creation. For the second support, I chose Lucio, simply because he's exceptionally strong in a coordinated professional play. When you take him into a ranked match, he is borderline useless due to the fact that he has limited amounts of utility and every other support can out-heal him. Yes, his speed aura is exceptionally strong. When everyone is in voice chat, everyone is talking, you have a correct comp for it, and it feels like the correct comp would be Reinhardt with Mei, so you can actually press W and walk forward in 3, 2, 1. As you can see in the clips here. Even though this can work, there are just better options. This is why Lucio is at #2. The last character in the support category is going to be Mercy. It feels like with the recent changes, developers are consistently making us want to stand behind the cover and just pocket the hitscan DPS instead of being proactive, instead of going with a great movement. It makes me sad, and I feel like there are just better characters when you want to play support. This is why you rarely see Mercy being played in scrims, in professional games, or in top 500 lobbies. There are just better options. Just like Zenyatta. If you want to damage boost your whole team instead of damage boosting a single player, boom, Discord Orb is there. The healing is pretty much the same, very similar to Mercy healing, as well as the fact that you can duel, you can deal damage yourself, makes Zen a superior choice over Mercy. Obviously, she is very fun to play, and if you wanna do it, go for it. But she is taking the #3 spot on my personal list of worst support characters in the current meta. It's not a surprise that RoadHog is considered to be the worst tank in the game at the moment. Every single time he's getting picked in a game, someone is taking Ana on the enemy team, and it becomes completely unplayable for you to do anything in the game. You are going for somewhat of a win condition to just a person that's being chilling. It feels like the developers are rolling, and the fact that they completely removed one-shot combo makes the character just absolutely unplayable. Not only he does not have a shield to protect his teammates from snipers, which are absolutely in meta. Hanzo is being played almost in every single game. Widowmaker is very popular, but you are not a big threat to other enemy tanks, as well as you cannot like really dive the backline. So what are you for? Why are you here? Just to suffer? It feels like that. The character needs a massive rework in order to work, in order to be useful. Again, hopefully we will get these changes in the future. I feel like for many players, Orisa stands in a category of a tank that you would take just to counter Reinhardt. every single player that I know knows that if the enemy Reinhardt is too dominating, if he's bullying you, if you are losing Rain Mirror, it's kind of a classified or certified classic to take Orisa and make his life miserable. Unfortunately, in the current state of the game where there is Junker Queen, Zarya, and Ramatra, Orisa cannot be played. She will just not find any value in games. You cannot take her on Sigma maps simply because you don't have a shield to protect your teammates from snipers, right? Because Sigma maps are longer ones. And then if you want to take her on Diva maps with verticality, you don't have the momentum and like mobility to catch the Diva or Winston for reference. And then it feels like she just needs a little bit of a rework or a damage boost. And then we'll consider her as a great tank option. For now, Reinhardt players are suffering, and then they switch to Zarya, and now it's your turn to suffer. And it feels like for the third place in tanks, I not only wanted to speak about Doomfist, but dive tanks in general. Wrecking Ball, Winston, and Doomfist are three tanks that are kind of falling behind in the current meta of exceptional brawl, especially after the Junker Queen buff, where every single map is filled with her presence and there is nowhere you can run from her. The fact that you can get pulled by the knife, the fact that you are just completely useless against certain tanks and cannot really not only dominate but literally do anything against them makes dive tanks a horrendous choice in the current meta. Of course, you can make it work. In ranked, you can literally make everything possible, but as of right now, I feel like I am just 10 times more useless on a dive tank rather than a brawl one. But we'll see. Maybe it will change in the future. Going for the DPS role, and Sojourn is taking one of the spots on being the worst DPS at the moment. Really low win rate due to the fact that she does not have any range whatsoever, as well as the fact that her kit is exceptionally difficult to pull off. You really need to be a godlike aimer to make her work as a normal character, so you have to try 3 times harder than you would try on Ashe to make her work as Ashe and have the same impact. So the character stands at about 46% win rate, and it really shows. If you have tried Sojourn yourself, you understand how difficult it is to make her work in the current reality, in the current meta, where everything is very fast-paced, everyone is moving really fast, and as a team, pretty hard to pull off your right clicks. Genji, one of the most depressing Overwatch characters that I have personally played, and every single time I would OTP this character, I would get hit with Pharah, I would get hit with Mei, Echo is going there, dudes would play Zenyatta and Transcendence every single time that I would blade, so I will not farm my clips. Jesus Christ. Like, this character literally gave me massive spikes of anxiety, and I wanted to really like go under the blanket and cry every single time I would play him. I genuinely tried my absolute hardest. I was cooking before I started playing the character on a warm-up custom code game. Nothing helped. It feels like you need to sink in at least a few hundred hours before you even can touch grass on the character. It's very inferior to its competitors such as Tracer. I feel like even Sombra is so much more useful than Genji. And then you would want to take him against 2 hit scans simply because it's when the Genji shines, but they would just switch and you will find yourself miserable. And yeah, this character definitely deserves a spot on being the worst DPS in the game. You have to be an exceptionally strong character with good mechanics to make Sombra work. And the fact that she stands at 46% win rate across all the ranks is just a sign of a massive skill issue across the player base. People are not ready to communicate their hacks, people are not ready to be working together with their dive tanks. People are just taking Sombra to run in the invisibility, shoot someone for 100 health, and then blink away from cringe. or die from cringe. This is personally my experience, even in Masters lobbies. I feel like Sombra players are just not speaking, they are not telling you what they gotta do, and the character heavily relies on that. But in top 500 lobbies, oh my god, the Sombra is an absolute menace. So if you're playing that character, make sure that you are vocal about your plans. That's it for this video. Make sure that you let me know in the comments section who are your top 3 most hated characters in every single role. See you in the next one. Take care.